Hi guys, I'm going to be showing you how to make LB agar media. That's going to involve weighing out our dry LB agar, putting it into a clean bottle, and then autoclaving it. So this says 40 grams per liter, and we have a 1 liter bottle, so we're just going to weigh out 40 grams. The procedure here is actually going to be the same for making regular liquid LB media, except for that you would add 25 grams of that powder. So first thing I'm going to do is grab a little weigh boat here, put our boat onto the scale. It's already off, press on, and then it's going to tare it to 0. So now we're at 0. Now all we got to do is add 40 grams of our LB agar. So you want to be careful here because this stuff is very easily, it makes clouds and gets dusty, and you don't want to breathe that in. It's just no good for your lungs. So I just kind of grab a heaping spoonful and kind of slowly put it over here. This has a tendency to explode and do that, which is no good. So there we go. Tap it off. We have about 33.3 grams, so I just need about 7 more. Fill this thing up about halfway, and then slowly tap it in until we get to about 40. And it can be, you know, it doesn't have to be perfectly. I usually add about an extra gram. I figure that I spill some off of the side, and that some sticks to the side of my little of my funnel here. So just close that up so I'm not breathing all that dust. And here's our bottle. I'm gonna actually add a little bit of water beforehand, because it makes it easier to mix it in. It doesn't get all stuck and caked to the bottom. So now we are ready to add our powder. So I just pull this up.
You can do it in the fume hood.
Dump it in, and you can do this in the fume hood if you're too paranoid. I'm kind of next to the fume hood, so I figure that the powder kind of generally moves in that direction, hopefully. And toss this. Leave this here, and then clean up. Obviously, you want to clean up everything afterwards. We'll do that later, off camera. And now you can see that all of our powder is kind of floating on top of that water. We want to mix that up as well as we can. So I just turn on my DI water, try to rinse off the sides, and you can see that some of that powder starts to come out, so I want to be careful with that. And then I just blast it in, and that kind of mixes it all up. So it gets a little bit bubbly at the top. You want to slow down, and as soon as the liquid hits this little ridge right here, you can see that our measurements go up to 900, and then there's no 1,000 mils, but that little ridge is kind of the 1,000 mil section. And we just kind of cap it, get our autoclave tape, which is right here, if I can find the edge of it. There we go. And throw a little bit of autoclave tape on it. This just shows you that it got up to temperature and that everything was sterilized. And then we label it and we're good to go. And again, this is the exact same thing that we would do if we were making LB. So this is LB agar for pouring plates. LB is liquid culture media, and we would just be adding 25 grams instead of 40 that we did here.
Loose cap.
So you're going to notice that the cap is not on all the way, it's kind of loose. If I tightened it all the way, and maybe I'll do that so I can give it a good shake, but when you actually go into the autoclave, you're going to want to make sure that it's loose, because this thing gets very, very hot, and all that water will start to evaporate, pressure will build up, and you can get an explosion. Probably what's going to happen is the top will pop off, but it's conceivable the glass could shatter. So I'm going to bring this over to our tray. When we autoclave, we put stuff in the tray so that if anything does overflow, the tray captures it and we don't make a mess in the autoclave. Last thing I'm going to do is just label this. This is LB agar, LBA, and we're going to then go to the autoclave room. But before I do that, I want to take off my gloves, because you don't want to be opening doors with gloves on. Other people see that. They might not like it. They might think that you have some sort of really dangerous organism in your hands, which we don't. We have LB agar. So we'll be back in a second in the autoclave room.